going, everyone? Iman with Dune Serpents. Today we're going to be talking about the Outgear solution bed caps for the tailgate application, or not the tailgate, just the rear end in general. And this works really well if you have the Outgear Solutions bumpers, the rear bumpers. They have two versions of these available, depending on what bumper you get or what you want to do with it. They have a straight version, and they have kind of a slanted version. As you can see, I got the slanted one, so it's not completely straight. It's kind of angled a little bit. Now, I'm just doing a YouTube video on these because I am a person that doesn't have an Outgear Solutions rear bumper. I don't know if I'm going to run a rear bumper, and if I am, I'm probably just going to do a single 2-inch tube. I'm going to keep it simple. So this is from the perspective of just getting the bed caps to fill in this void right here, because some companies have bumper caps or rear bumpers that work with fiberglass applications, but for me personally with Glasscraft, I don't have any way to fill in this void. In fact, when I put this here, I still have a little bit of space that I don't really feel like cutting. I'll think about it later, but I'm going to tell you how I mounted these, because I found these to be an extreme weak point. If I had an Outgear Solutions rear bumper, I would weld these to the bumper. If you don't, I'm going to show you what I did. As you can see, there's two holes in this. Ignore this hole, but this hole on the bigger panel is the one we're going to be using, because from Outgear Solutions, as you can see, make sure the camera is focused on this, there's just these two little holes on this pretty heavy piece of metal, and especially if you're running fiberglass, it's just going to fall off on a speed bump, right? I'm not even kidding. So I'm not trying to hate on Outgear Solutions, but this was a poor design as far as mounting goes. If you had their bumper, maybe it's sturdy there, whatever, I would still weld it. Anyways, I didn't even try to go off-roading with this. I knew it wasn't going to work. So I came up with this giant bolt going through the back, and I'm going to kind of show you how I made it. And so far, this has worked great. So let's get right into it. All right, so this is the inside of the bed caps, which I kind of left alone. I painted them before, so I just put a clear coat on the inside since no one's literally going to see it, but it is rust protection. So it looks pretty bad on the inside, but the outside, I put that Ace Hardware satin gray, which is equivalent to 1H5 cement on the Toyota Tacoma on the outside, as well as the premium gloss enamel finish over that paint. So it's double protection on this. Put about 3 coats of paint and then 1 coat of this. We're overkill on everything. And yeah, so I'm not gonna have any rust, and if I get a little minor scratch here and there, I'll have all those layers to go through. All right, this is the paint that I used to get this coloring right there. So obviously it's not a direct match, but this is the closest thing you can buy at a store without having to go mix paint and get, you know, that exact gloss finish. But it is pretty close, especially when you put that clear gloss coat over it. It's really nice. So it's as close as we're gonna get to this. When you stand from a distance, you can hardly tell a difference. So yeah, this is the move as far as getting that closest to the cement. All right, so these are what I believe is a 1/2-inch diameter grade 8 bolt with lock nuts on the end of them. I just measured it with my measuring tape. The bolt seemed to be from this end all the way on the outside to the end of this bolt with the nut off was about 4 inches and 3/4, so almost 5 inches. So that's what you're gonna need. And you're gonna mock up your bed cap here. As you can see, this was a failed one, and it bolts from the outside of the bed cap into here. So, oh no, that's not a failed one. That's actually how my fiberglass came. I just expanded that hole to see if I can work around that, and it didn't work. So ignore that hole. Anyways, I drilled through, mocked it up, and then this goes in. There's no washer on the other side because it's very tight. I don't know if you could see. Anyways, it just doesn't work without with a washer. So you have to do it without a washer and a locking nut and Loctite and all that stuff. I'm not going to be putting Loctite in this video because this fiberglass is coming off, and it's going to be going under some work because I have new fiberglass going on with fresh paint. So just ignore this disaster. So I'm going to have to do this all over again. Yep, it's going to be a fun project. But anyways, so yeah, this is what you're going to use. And these use a 3/4 head wrench and socket. All right, so as you can see, there's a tiny bolt on the side. I tried bolting it from the side, but then it didn't work, so I was left with a tiny hole in this sheet metal. So I just put a cosmetic bolt on here, so you guys aren't gonna have to do that. and it was a big mistake on my end. It's a clean bike, dang. Anyway, so it goes kind of like this. So there's a little slot here that I like to use to hook onto it. It clears the tailgate just barely, and it's gonna sit kind of like that once I get the bolt in there. And then, yeah, like I said, that was a mistake. You don't have to worry about that. But there's your main hole. And you just drill through and lines up there. I haven't screwed it in yet. I just kind of mocked it in here so the bolt's all the way through. And you can see it's kind of resting on this little hook here. On this side, I sanded it down a little bit to get it to fit. It was having some issues clearing the bed. But the point is that it's going to loop around it like this. Kind of hook onto it like that. That's what you want to go for. So you might need to sand the driver's side a little bit. At least I had to, but then it'll be like this. And you'll have that clearance so it won't scratch your tailgate. And then when I tighten this, it's going to kind of push up on the taillight, kind of like a taillight support of some sort. I don't really know, but it's nice and flush. It takes some time to find where you want it before you drill, because this is purely going to be placed wherever you put it. So just make sure you take that time. This is the closest I can get with this fiberglass. It's whatever, but you know, yeah, that's kind of where I'm sitting. So I just torqued this one all the way down. Obviously you can see it's not the craziest fit, but I don't really care right now since I'm replacing the fiberglass. So this is as good as it's gonna get for now. It's like a line right here that comes down a little bit and matches. But that's pretty much what it looks like. But with this giant bolt going through here with that lock nut, look how sturdy it is. Doesn't even move. I'm putting a lot of force on here. You can see it's kind of angled. It's pushing the taillight up a little bit. My taillight is freaking locked in there. See if I want a little bit of play. I don't want it to be too tight. Yeah, it's a little bit of play. That's good. So yeah, that's like a solid system. A lot of people are probably going to tell me to just trim all this up, but I really don't want to. I like the look of this, so I'm just going to have a straight rear bumper, probably coming and curving down a little bit, custom, just a 2-inch tube to kind of fill in that gap. That's kind of what it looks like. Just need to fix all these paint chips so bad. But yeah, that's just one side done. You can see for comparison, this side empty. That's what happens when you put fiberglass. I'm not sure what the OEM bed sides are like anymore on that portion, so you might not have to do all this, but if you are running these without Outgear Solutions bumpers and you're not welding it to those bumpers or whatever bumper you're putting on here, you have to do this bolt, because these tiny 2 screws are not going to hold it. And that's it. That's all they expected. So like I said, it's about a 1/2 inch by 4 3/4 of an inch, so almost 5 inches long, and that's it. That's all you need. Anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe and check me out on Instagram for more off-road footage. Peace.